A few weeks ago, I started getting some really disturbing phone calls. By Peterback. A few years ago, I started dating a girl named Sammy that had the warmest soul in the world. We met at university and started talking to each other because she attended most of the same classes that I did. We dated for about 9 months, which I consider to be the best months of my life, until one day it all ended. To this day, I still don't really know what happened that night, but I'm not really sure that I want to. We were chatting at about 2 in the morning like we did most days when she started saying that she was hearing some strange sounds coming from downstairs. I told her to stay calm and that it was probably just the wind or something. It wasn't. I tried to change the subject, but every minute or so she would just go back to it and I couldn't do anything about it. I remember her messages getting more and more weird as I tried to calm her down and tell her that it was nothing. Until finally, I just decided to go see for myself what it was, since I lived about a block away. When I got there, I knocked on the door, but no one answered. I called the police after a while and was almost desperate when they arrived. They went in and there was no one in the house. The authorities searched for her for a couple of months until her body was found a few miles away in an old warehouse. It destroyed me. No trace of the killers were ever found, and the worst part was that I didn't get to see the body or attend the funeral. They said it was going to be very private, but I never actually heard of it happening. I don't know why, but something just felt off. Like I wasn't getting the whole truth. Like something was being held back from me. It took me months to get over it. And even today, tears still rush to my eyes when I think of her. A lot of friends sent me texts saying that they were sorry, that they knew how it felt, when in reality, they didn't. I tried to do what many of them suggested, to go out again and to start something new, to find someone else. But it was impossible. I think that it would have been worse if I did. After months of grief, I finally got to a point where I could say that I wanted to start over. That was until a few weeks ago, when I received a call from my Sammy. I remember hearing her ringtone that I just never changed, and just looking at my phone in disbelief. It couldn't be, but it was. I picked it up and looked at the words on the screen. Sammy Oakes. I answered the phone, and it was her. Chris. Her voice came through as a whisper, and a shiver ran down my spine when I heard it. Is that really you, Sammy? But how? I said. Chris, help me. Her voice was husky and grim, not the melodic one that I remembered. The call ended abruptly, and I couldn't process what had just happened. I was speechless. Sammy was alive. Alive after all of this time. And I needed to get her back. After trying to call her back from my call history for what seemed like ages, and getting no response, I tried to search the number on the internet to see where it was from. I didn't find anything. It was invisible. After trying to find it for a couple of hours, I decided to go see a friend who worked at a phone company. I asked him if he could trace the number back to where the call had come from. I remember him looking surprised as he looked at his monitor, as he told me that he hadn't been able to track it because it wasn't registered with any phone plan, that the number didn't exist. For some reason, I didn't tell anybody about this call. I was too scared of them calling me crazy or thinking that I was pulling some type of sick prank on them. I tried to forget about it. I guess that I was so afraid to lose her again that I just wanted to not be able to get her back in the first place. It was almost as if I wanted her dead once again. I barely managed to forget it until a couple of days ago, when I got another call. And this one was worse. Way worse. Sammy, it's me, Chris. Where are you? The words came rushing out of my mouth without me even thinking about it. Chris, he's coming. Her voice was awful, as if she wanted to cry but didn't dare to. Sammy, talk to me please, I begged. Where are you? I was shivering. Something was really off, and I couldn't fully grasp what was happening. "He's going to find me. Please help me, Chris. Please," Sammy said. I heard some footsteps in the background, and then the call ended. I was paralyzed. Someone was after her, after my Sammy, and I couldn't do anything about it. I sat down and looked at my phone screen, trying to calm myself, trying to convince myself that this couldn't be happening. But it was. Today, after a few days of thinking about it, I decided that it was enough, that I had to tell someone, but I couldn't tell anyone for fear of them not believing me. So I just started making this. I guess I know it isn't gonna help, that it will probably get lost in the internet, and no one will ever hear the story, but at least it'll be there somewhere. The phone's ringing again, ringing right now, but I'm too afraid to pick it up.